Welcome to the Hashimoto's Doctor Podcast. You're now part of a growing community of people determined to take their health back through education and self-empowerment. But because of the healthcare system today, we don't have access to the types of healthcare that we want. So we have to do things differently. We've got to do things smarter, and we do that by becoming our own advocates. This podcast will give you the perspective and thoughts of one of the world's leading Hashimoto's doctors. So let's get started. Hi everybody, Dr. Shook here. I hope you're doing well today. Today I want to talk to you guys about a connection between your sleep and really overall health, well-being, and really how to do it right. Because there's a lot of misunderstanding, misperceptions about how much sleep you need, and I want to help to clarify that today because it's really important if you have Hashimoto's and another autoimmune condition, or really any type of health problem. Sleep is critical for recovery, for normal hormone balance, and really for overall health. So I want to talk to you guys about how I biohack my sleep. So here's the first and most important thing that you need to understand about sleep. Sleep is, it occurs in 90-minute cycles. Okay, so you go through these different phases of sleep in 90-minute cycles. So the most important thing that I can tell you is that you want to try to fall asleep and wake up, or you want to try to wake up at the end of a 90-minute cycle. So if you're going to plan your sleep out, you want to make sure that you're planning it so that you're waking up at either an hour and a half, 3 hours, 4.5 hours, 6 hours, 7.5 hours. Okay, you got it? Because it's 90 minutes, right? 90-minute cycle. So there is a little bit of debate on this, as always, as to how many of these cycles you need. It's the debate right now is somewhere around that you need around 6 to 7 of these per night. So if you need let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 to 5 of these per night. Sorry, 4 to 5. Because that's going to put you at 6 to 7.5 hours per night. Okay, now, here's the thing. Everyone is absolutely going to be individual in their needs and their demands for more or less of these sleep cycles. Okay, it's really important to understand that 4 or 5 of these cycles would put you at 6 hours or 7.5 hours. Some people can do less than that. Some people need more than that. But the main thing is that you can experiment with this. Now, let me tell you, for me, I think from everything that I've observed in my own health, I am somewhere in the 6 cycles. Sometimes I can do. I'm sorry. I'm saying 6 hours or 4 cycles. So 4 cycles would be 4 90-minute cycles. That would put me at 6 hours. So that's usually where I feel pretty good. I think I might be able to do less than that. If I wanted to, I can do it. But I think over time that catches up with me if I do that. Hold on, I'm setting the sauna. I'm actually in the sauna right now. I'm not trying to get it up to 150 to 150 degrees today. So these 4 cycles, 6 hours is pretty good for me. What I've read, it's somewhere between it's for most people it's probably going to be somewhere between 4 to 5 of these cycles. If you get 5 cycles per day or per night, that's 7.5 hours. Okay, that would end up being 35 of those cycles per month or per week, which is what some of the leading researchers and scientists believe you need for optimal health. So what I want you to understand is if you wake up at the end of a 90-minute cycle, it's going to be much easier to wake up than it is if you wake up in the middle of one of those cycles. You're going to be typically more alert, more awake. If you wake up at the end of a cycle, you're going to be more tired if you wake up mid-cycle. So it's really important. So many people suffer with their ability to wake up and have energy. Many of the people that listen to me and that I work with and that I teach, while they're recovering, they are having difficulty with their circadian or daily rhythm of cortisol production. So their rhythm of cortisol production's off, which alters their energy production, which causes them to have fatigue at awkward times of the day. So one of the things that we want to do is try to reestablish their circadian or daily rhythm of cortisol production. So sticking and trying to sync your body with these cycles is critical. Now, what we believe is that sleeping, your most important time to sleep, that is consistent with the rising of the sun, rising and setting of the sun, is between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. Because as humans, our bodies are designed to respond to the blue light from the sun. So when the sun comes up and the blue light starts to, we start to see blue light, that actually triggers neurological changes that signals hormone production in our body. So our bodies are designed to work with the rising and setting of the sun. So 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., if you're following, a normal sleep cycle that follows rising and setting of the sun, that's going to be your prime hours to rest. So that's really important to know. So sleeping during those hours is going to be more important, I think, than say, staying up until 1 o'clock in the morning and then sleeping from 1 until, let's say, 7 and getting, 6 hours in. So for me, I'm trying to get to bed around, 10, waking up at about 4 or something like that. That's, more reasonable. That's more consistent with following those circadian rhythms too. So okay, this is really important to understand, guys. So the reason that this is helpful is because it helps not only you to feel more awake and energized because you're waking up at the time where you're going to be more alert based on your sleep cycles. If you follow this and you're waking up, and you're following this normal circadian or daily rhythm of waking up, when you wake up in the morning, if you're groggy, eventually, what will tend to happen is you'll train your body to start producing more cortisol in the morning, which is where it should, because when you wake up in the morning, your cortisol should be higher. So when your circadian rhythm or your daily production of cortisol is off, waking up, getting a little bit of physical activity and movement in, which that's what I try to do, is get up and either work out a little bit, use the sauna, whatever it might be. I'm trying to wake up and I'm putting a little bit more physiological stress on my body. There's a few different ways that you can still biohack that, especially if you're having problems waking up in the morning. Sometimes people will have them to consume a little bit of nitric balance, which is a supplement made by a company that I like a lot, Apex Energetics. And you take a little bit of the nitric balance, and that helps to improve blood flow and perfusion. You do a little bit of physical activity. That's pretty high intensity. Not immediately. For 3 to 5 minutes. Helps to spike your cortisol, get your blood flowing, get blood and oxygen to your brain, which wakes you up. And then sometimes we'll have them use Adrena Stim, which is a topical cream that's used to extend the half-life of cortisol, which means it makes your cortisol last longer. Some people that have problems with their circadian or their rhythms of cortisol production, they can't make enough cortisol. They have problems manufacturing it. It's a complex series of things. So we're trying to, until their body becomes more healthy and more robust, we want to improve what the person's working with, the amount of cortisol that they're currently working with and that they can make. So we use something like Adrena Stim, which doesn't stimulate production of cortisol. It just extends the half-life of it so it lasts longer. We can use that in the morning. We can use nitric balance. We can get some physical activity in. We can wake up with our rhythms, and we're going to be off to the races, guys. It's going to be a great way to help start hacking your circadian rhythms, assisting your rhythms of production, getting better energy, better mental focus, and there are even some further tips beyond that, but it's not something I'm going to use typically with someone it depends on the condition of the person. Like I'll wake up and actually have exogenous ketones and some coffee, which is not advisable for everyone. Coffee with medium chain triglycerides, which is a type of oil that burns like a carb. Basically, I use straight caprylic acid, which is C8 oil, And all these things together, I'm drinking electrolytes as we speak because it is 4 o'clock in the morning. And these are some of the ways that we're going to hack our sleep. But one other important thing. I started using an app that I think is fantastic. It's called Sleep Cycle. So it's very cool. What you do is you download the app, and what you do is you download the app, you tell it when you want to wake up. So obviously you're going to look at when you go to bed, right? You're going to plan this. You're going to look at when you go to bed. So I went to bed at 11. I programmed it to wake me up at 5. So that gave me, 6 hours of sleep. So that gave me 4 cycles. So I could wake up at the end of a 90-minute cycle. So I went to bed at 11. I told my Sleep Cycle app to wake me up at 5. So you put your phone, key point, you put your phone on airplane mode. So there's absolutely no magnetic fields coming off of it. You tuck it under your mattress, or under your top sheet of your bed, close, like right beside of you, so that there's no EMFs coming off of it, right? There's no electromagnetic field. It's in airplane mode. And what it does is it measures movement and sound. And so it tracks your sleep. And what it does is it will start waking you up gently over a 30-minute period using vibration and gentle sounds, near that 90-minute, the end of that 90-minute cycle. So it's really important. The most important thing here is put it in airplane mode, for crying out loud, put it in airplane mode. The EMFs coming off these phones are unbelievable. The magnetic fields are extremely powerful. Do not subject yourself to that while you're sleeping. Do not subject yourself to that while you're sleeping. Or even during the day, try to minimize your exposure to the EMFs. They're really powerful. So I use that. It helps me to wake up. It tracks my sleep and my sleep quality. So I can see if my sleep just absolutely was terrible or if it was good based on this app. So it's another way to hack your sleep. So I want to share this with you guys because it's absolutely critical that we do the right things. We do everything that we can to give ourselves an advantage. And if you're really trying to hack your sleep and you're trying to improve your performance, these are some of the really powerful and incredible ways to do it. So I'll be sharing more tips with you guys on how to take your health back. But remember, if you haven't joined me, guys, I think, I'm constantly learning. And one of the things that I want to share with you that I think I cannot emphasize enough is that I believe we're being poisoned by the toxins in our environment that we absolutely have no idea are really there. We have no idea of their physiological impacts, and we can't measure half of them. There are 800,000 environmental chemicals. Very, very few of those have been checked for human safety, because the process of determining if something is safe or not is completely backwards. It has to be proven to be dangerous before it's considered. They consider not using it. But guys, every disease process is skyrocketing. Every chronic disease process, autism, cancers, brain degeneration, Alzheimer's, dementia, all of these problems are skyrocketing. Autoimmunity, skyrocketing. And one thing, these environmental chemicals and metals that are in our environment, mercury, lead, glyphosate, all these things in our environment are just overwhelming us and causing us to be sick. And the thing is that they're very, very difficult, if not impossible, to test for. But we know they're there. So what do? Do you ignore them and say, well, we can't test for them, so it's not a problem? No. What we're finding is that it's one of the things that we absolutely have to address up front with people if we're going to get their health back. Because there's so many things that these chemicals are disrupting. So we have to address them at the same time or first. And it has to be a consistent, ongoing process for the rest of our lives, guys. It does. It absolutely does. Because no one's taking these out of our environment. So we've got to work on getting them out of our body, minimizing our exposure. So listen, if you want to learn about something that we're doing that I think is going to be revolutionary, you've got to join me on our next webinar. Go to hashimotosdoctor.com/TCD. hashimotosdoctor.com/TCD, and I'm going to have the next webinar we have. I'll notify you. We don't do these on any consistent basis, but we're going to try and do one of these per month, because what we have is we've partnered up with some people that we're going to, in combination with some of the things that I do very uniquely clinically, we're utilizing a program that really I think is the best available way to get these toxins out of our body. Absolutely 100% revolutionary approaches, utilizing dietary variation, feast and famine cycles to harness the body's own ability to to cleanse itself using autophagy, a process of programmed cell death where the body eliminates diseased cells and it helps to purify the body, in combination with detoxification strategies that I think are way ahead of their time, that utilize true binding compounds and things to a really intelligent way to detoxify the body. Not cleanses like you might hear, not colon cleanses or liver cleanses. These go really upstream to where these metals are found in neurological tissues, brain, nerves, and they help to remove them and bind them from there. So very advanced strategies. I think it's the future. Once per month, guys, I'm in practice. So I work with people one-on-one, but we only work with 1 to 2 new people per week. So at the very most, I'm working with 8 people at one time in a month, on a one-on-one basis as a client in my office. So it's very limited because this is very time-consuming and very labor-intensive work that's very customized. So I'll spend 2 hours for every hour I spend with someone. So by the time I see 2 people in my office, that's going to be, we're going to spend another, there's going to be 4 hours for every person. I spend an additional 2 hours. So if there's 8, there's going to be that's 8 hours I spend in clinic. It's going to be 16, so it'd be 24 hours. So that's 24 hours in a week. Then plus, if you look at the time that we're teaching, plus what I do is I'm trying to figure out how to help people in mass. So I'm teaching you guys, number 1. Number 2, we're taking groups of 30 per month through our detoxification program, where I can give these people much more focused attention. It's not true like one-on-one, but we're working with them through a guided program where there's a support group, first of all, small support group, so everyone can be in there. My staff and I can really support those people. There's a support group on Facebook. We also go in there and I do question and answer once per week for at least an hour, answering everyone's questions. So we're helping support people. We've given them a guided program that gives them an unbelievable resource of videos per every week, articles, resources to walk through this detoxification process and to understand dietary strategies that are way ahead of their time, using feast and famine cycles, dietary variation designed to really pressure the body to adapt and harness autophagy. So anyway, I want to share this with you guys. I've gone a lot longer today. This is really quite a bit longer podcast, but this is really important because sleep is so critical. And these toxins in our environment, you guys are going to hear me talk about this a lot more because it's such a major, major problem. So I hope this helps you guys out. Remember, I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me today. I really do. I hope that it's helped to improve your quality of life, and that it helps you to really live longer, have more years, and have better vibrancy throughout those years. So remember, guys, help us with our mission. Help us help other people, please, because so many people have no ideas that they're being poisoned and that their disease processes and these problems that they can't explain and all these medications that they're taking, that there may be some underlying things that have not been recognized or identified that could help them to take their health back. So remember, our goal is what? Educate you. Help you become your own advocate so that you can take your health back and ultimately be an active participant in your health care and be better partners with anyone that you work with. Because guys, for us to change the world, we're going to have to educate ourselves. And we're going to have to be better partners with our doctors and not fight with our doctors. Remember, we need to unify people, not divide. Let's unify. Let's move forward with this message of trying to be better partners and really change the world. Because remember, our doctors, they don't know this stuff, right? They're not exposed to this information. I never got any of this in school. All this is postgraduate studies and things that I had to seek out on my own because of my own pain. My own pain. My pain brought me through an experience that has led to my purpose now. So a doctor that I really respect a lot, one of the guys that we've partnered with is Daniel Pompa. And Dr. Pompa always says this thing, from pain to purpose. Absolutely, from pain to purpose. You go through pain and you learn the hard way. And a lot of people that are out there trying to help you, and they've learned the hard way. They've gone through it and learned that the difficult way. And we're trying to save you guys from going through that. So help us help other people, guys. Help us share this message. Spread the word. Please go to our podcast, review it. Please give us feedback if there's any way that we can help make it better for you. We're doing our best. And And definitely, thanks. Join me again. I can't wait to talk to you guys again. I've got such some great information to share with you. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed hanging out behind the scenes with Dr. Shook. You can also talk with and learn from Dr. Shook through Facebook Live on our Facebook page at the Office of Dr. Brad Shook. Don't forget, you can also get access to our videos, guidebooks, and thyroid programs at www.drbradshook.com. Oh yeah, and don't forget one more thing. We can change the world one person, one family, and one community at a time. Until next time, remember, today is your day, and no one will tell you who you are and what you can be.